Tinubu in tears in the early hour of today as the wife of Tinubu is finally disgraced publicly. A lot of things went wrong the moment they announced the budget and they sent it to the House of Senate for approval, because a lot of people see that this government is not for the masses. They're really fighting hard for their luxurious life in the Aso Rock chamber. No one believes that the wife of Tinubu can be disgraced like this. You should see how a man disgraced the wife of Tinubu to her face. It shocked everybody in the early hour of today. Tinubu couldn't hold it. We would like guys to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, ensure you share it and let it go to different social media platforms. Share it to groups, and if you can't share it, just like it as you're watching. Give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us, and end is coming to these people already. Stay connected, obedient. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should believe the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome me back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, ensure you click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and do well to click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in fast time, YouTube will easily let you to know. A lot is happening in the political zone. It was in the early hour of today that Tinubu was in total panic, and he shed tears in the early hour of today after the wife of Tinubu was disgraced. The wife of Tinubu was disgraced in the early hour of today by a man, and this whole issue happened due to the budget that was released for the approval of the House of Assembly and all of that. A lot of Nigerians have been grumbling, and a lot of Nigerians have been agitating that the present government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is imposed on them. A lot of people believe that they did not vote for Tinubu, but he find his way to that place, and at the end of the day, he's not even doing the will of the people. A lot of people that even voted for him, they're already making a U-turn. They said, this is not who we voted for. This is not who we really put into power, because a lot of things that Tinubu is doing is not expected of him. They did not expect him to be doing all these things. And if you get to the street at the moment, the people that make the loudest noise regarding the impeachment of Tinubu are the APC people. They said they don't really want him, but don't forget, when the election process was ongoing before the 25th of February and all of that, a lot of people were being tribalistic, and a lot of people were carried away by ethnicity. A lot of people were also carried away by religiosity. People were shouting that they want Muslim ticket and all of that, and this is the Muslim ticket now, and a lot of us, we are enjoying it. We are in this together now. The Muslim ticket did not say that if you should go to the market, the high in price of commodity will not get to your doorpost and all of that. It is how much I'm buying salt that you too, you're going to buy your salt in the market square. That is what is happening now. And the people that voted for Tinubu due to tribe and all of that is a Yoruba, is their son, because the language was kind of rampant then. Before the election, they said they want their son to be there because it's a Yoruba. They too, they are Yoruba. I always say it in many of my videos, I said I'm a chronic and indigenous Yoruba guy. I understand Yoruba and I love Yoruba so much, but that doesn't mean that I should be carried away and be blindfolded by that tribalism and all of that, just for me not to be able to distinguish between a bad candidate and a legit candidate. So that is what is happening now. A lot is really happening to Bola Ahmed Tinubu wife at the moment. I would like us to share this video. If you can share this video, ensure you share it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it, give it a thumb up so that YouTube will recommend it for us until you get to the last person. Let every Nigerians in Nigeria to see, and even Nigerians in the diaspora, let them see what is going on in this country at the moment. This whole issue started when they released the budget and they sent it to the House of Assembly for approval and all of that. Tinubu wants to buy a yacht, and this have got a lot of people talking on different media houses and even different social media platforms. A lot of Nigerians are already expressing their own opinion, and they're expressing their displeasure regarding the yacht that Tinubu wants to buy, because the yacht is meant for luxury and all of that. Tinubu did not stop there. After he allocated 5 billion naira for yacht, when Nigerians are suffering, he didn't stop there. He still allocate money for the office of the first lady. He still allocate some money for the office of the first lady that is not even constitutional and all of that. He still allocate billions of naira for cars for the first lady too. And mind you, these people, when they were inaugurated, the wife of Tinubu came out, and it came out bold. She said her family is not interested in the wealth of Nigeria, and they are not interested in the money of Nigerians. He said they have their own wealth before they come into power. They boasted of their own personal wealth, but why is it now that they are using Nigerian money to be taking care of the first lady? Why is Tinubu using the money of Nigerians to be taking care of his wife. When they claim that they have their own money, now he's using billions of naira to maintain his wife. And mind you, the office of the first lady is not constitutional, it's not in the law, it's not existing. It is only Tinubu that contested for the 2023 election under APC. There is no place where the wife of Tinubu, Remi Tinubu, contested for the election. That shows that the wife of the president is not recognized according to the constitution. Since you did not cast your vote for the wife of Tinubu in the polling unit where you voted, since the name of the wife of Tinubu did not appear in any ballot paper, that shows that the office of the first lady is not recognized as far as the Nigerian constitution is concerned. So if at all the wife of Tinubu wants to manage any office, it should be managing the same office with Tinubu. There is no separate office for the office of the first lady. This alone has sparked up a lot of reactions, and that is the reason why a man came out today to disgrace the wife of Tinubu to the very front and to the very face of Tinubu, and nothing is happening. Nothing will happen because a lot of Nigerians are agitating. They are protesting day in, day out. They said a lot of things are already hike up in the country. People cannot afford 1 square meal again in this country. The fish that they are selling in 200 naira before have turned to 1,500 naira in a country that has a president and all of that, and the city president have not even used up to 6 months. Things have already hike up in a very high percentage, so you can see what is going on. So I will leave you guys to listen to what the man said regarding Bola Ahmed Tinubu wife and all of that. That got a lot of people talking in different media houses today. Tinubu wife was disgraced. Hope they stay connected. I'm coming back again as you watch the video.
To look at the components of the supplementary budget and what it means for the average Nigerian, we're joined by public affairs analyst Catch Ononuju. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, you did see the clip we just played now of explanation being given as to what is being done with the money that was budgeted for the presidential yacht, money that has allegedly now been relocated to the student loan. First of all, do you consider it embarrassing that, this had to be a conversation in the first place? Part of the defense that was given was that this yacht was not requested for in this administration, one. That two, it doesn't belong to the president, it's for the Navy, and, it was requested during President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. So first, do you think that this excuse suffices, and is it something to be embarrassed about?
Oh, well, I believe it's not an issue of talking about embarrassments. No, it's very teaching. I say that because people will now understand that the same recklessness we had under the Buhari administration seems to be bringing its head up under the Tinubu administration. So now they've said this is not the first time somebody tried to insert that issue of a yacht. There's nothing like presidential yacht. No. Everything that the president needs can be done transporting him with a helicopter. And the military, the security services does have helicopter for that use. What would you use a yacht for? I think somebody wants to dispose of an ill-gotten yacht that has probably just stayed on their hands, and they want, how reckless our people can be. Disposing it, somebody will buy it and then pay the money, and it will rot in a place because it will never be used by the presidency. Be that as it may, we've moved on, and I will advise that we become very vigilant that the same hawks, the same kind of crooked people who were there in fixing numbers under Buhari are still available. That's what we must learn. Not see it as an embarrassing thing. No, we must see it as a teaching moment that the same crooks who were there stealing money for nothing under the Buhari administration, the APC administration, are still there under this APC administration. That is though Tinubu's administration. So we must all stay awake to understand that the snake is still there on the roof. Any spacecraft that is secure enough, that is big enough to be the command vessel of the Navy is a presidential craft. So this is just some fraudulent stories they are trying to tell you. Somebody may have seen, a bulletproof private yacht and thinking they can pass it off to Nigeria because it's a bulletproof private yacht into the hands of, no, you don't need that. What would you use it for? That's just, so that means the Navy is admitting that it was involved in deception. You're trying to deceptively give it a very fine, fancy name so that you pass. This is nonsense. If the presidency don't know about it, don't call it presidential product. If nobody ever talked about it, don't bring it up. Nobody needs such things. We don't need a presidential yacht. We don't need a yacht meant for only the president, meant for only one person. No, we don't need that. I mean, what we need a multi-purpose craft that can carry personnel and go and secure a job done. That's what we need.
Just to clarify once again, they are arguing that it is not meant for the president. It's only just named presidential yacht. But you know, I just want to also add the fact that a yacht is a luxury craft. It's not, or rather, a luxury boat. It's not, you know, a security boat. The United States does not have, you know, a yacht in its navy. The last one, I think, you know, was the USS Sequoia or something like that. But that one was decommissioned in 1977, and since then they have not found the need to use one or to have one. So Nigeria cannot be arguing that it needs a yacht in its navy. These are just, for me, you know, just useless arguments. It's pretty clear that this was very, very unnecessary. What made them bold enough to even put it there in the first place is what we should be thinking about. But Mr. Anonojo, I want to also ask, it's not just a yacht. That one for me is one item. There's still the office of the First Lady getting 1.5 billion naira for cars. There's still the National Assembly getting billions of naira for SUVs. There's 400 billion naira that's meant to be used for cash transfers. There's, I think, court premises meant to be built about 10 or 40 billion naira for building courts. The vice president's residence is going to be getting about 3 or 4 billion naira. The president's house is going to be getting rehabilitation in billions of naira also. These are also items that were put in that budget that have been passed so far by a National Assembly that didn't go through that budget for up to a week. They didn't deliberate, they didn't debate anything for up to a week. So I want your thoughts on what we currently have that we call a National Assembly.
Well, it's not what we currently have. The state capture was total. So they have captured states and they think they can simply rule, and they do not care about the current hardship being felt by the rank and file of Nigerian citizenry. And that's what you see. This is not proper. This could even be worse than the Buhari era from what we are seeing. That's why I said earlier that it is very teaching. It's not an issue of how to be embarrassed. We have been embarrassed enough by the APC as a political party. What they will not do, we do not know. We're beginning now to see that recklessness we saw and we thought it was only particular to the Buhari gang. No, it's also here. A lot of these things are just not in the law. What is the office of the First Lady? The First Lady never ran for election. Why are we spending billions for buying cars for the First Lady? The same First Lady who told us that her family does not need Nigeria's money to survive. Now she is taking Nigeria's money for purchasing her bulletproof vehicles for an office that is not known to law. That tells you the kind of administration that the Tinubu government shall be. So this is what it is. Don't forget how these people came to power. So why would you expect them to respect us? No. If they captured state, captured judiciary, they are also likely to have captured the legislature and nobody will talk. So it is left for the Nigerian people to open up their mouths and talk. Don't forget, this government is not as legitimate as we will want to think. No, this is the same government that, though we saw evidence to have it stepped down, the Supreme Court said, please, for the sake of national unity, do this, do that, that we came late, that evidences came late. This is not proper. I do not approve of this. The same family that told us that they do not need Nigeria's money to sustain, now is the same family that is taking Nigeria's money to do for themselves what is not known to law. There is no office of the First Lady that was voted for. Why should Nigerians be spending money to an office that is not allowed to be recognized by law? This is a problem. We never voted for Tinubu as First Lady. Why is she spending our money? Why is her husband spending Nigeria's money for her upkeep? This is just unknown to law, and for me, it's where the problem is. And there are quite a lot of things. That particular budget you saw passed yesterday is nothing but a luxury budget. That's why you saw PECs, money to be chopped, cash transfers that we do not know who is going to, all sorts of things. None of these things are pertinent to nation building and to governance. He can do actually without a lot of these things that he got money requested for yesterday, and that just tells you the Tinubu administration does not promise to be an administration that Nigerians could look forward to. So we have a continuation of the issues that we saw with the last administration, where money was packed recklessly, where our oils were sold in forward contracts and money taken, and we didn't see any of the money put into anything. Right. We are singing infrastructure. Today, our roads and infrastructure are very bad all over the place. When you see the current Minister for Works go around, you start to ask yourself, so what then did Fashola do for 8 years as Minister for Works?
And these are very vital questions to ask, Mr. Ononuju. Very vital questions, yes. Important to ask. A number of the reactions we've seen have been negative. Many people very disgruntled by the monies that they're seeing in the budget, and how it would seem that Nigerians were not prioritized. Would you say that there is any silver lining in the budget? The government has earmarked 210 billion naira to fulfill its pledge to pay 35,000 naira to about 1.5 million federal government employees for the months of October, November, and December. Would you say maybe this is something to be excited about? Are there any things or any provisions in the budget that maybe excite you and look like some measure of good news?
Well, you should understand that budgets are a government's expression of intent. And this expression of intentions tells us that these are purely intentions that are targeted towards personal aggrandizements. That's what you saw. Luxury vehicles, luxury this for that, luxury that for this. Nothing for the poor people. Nothing for the current hardship that Nigerians are experiencing everywhere, which they call our new shege. This new shege, I can tell you, is touching everybody. And the government, instead of thinking about ways to ameliorate the economic hardship we have currently in the country, are thinking of how to buy luxury vehicles, bulletproof vehicles for their wives, and for things that we never ever thought were essential commodities under this kind of emergency life that Nigerians are having currently. I abhor and I condemn the actions of the Tinubu administration.
Historically, these budgets always elicit reactions by many Nigerians. This presidential fleet budget, I believe, from the past administration, we've spent about 73.3 billion naira on presidential fleet alone. I mean, a lot of questions here. People are asking, where is the money going to come from? Where is this money going to come from? Today, I see on this day, on the cover from the ministerial retreat, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seek National Assembly nod to borrow another $7.8 billion and another 100 million euros from external loans. Where is the money going to come from, Dr. Abati?
Okay, the president yesterday was saying that, borrowing is not a crime. Mm-hmm. And earlier on this program today, I said, yes, while borrowing is not a crime, Nigerians are concerned about the quantum and the fact that in Nigeria, we borrow for consumption, not for production. I've seen a comment somewhere saying that, in fact, that the Nigerian Navy, used to have a yacht. Well, a yacht, in ordinary understanding, is a luxury jet for pleasure, for pleasure trips.
Yes.
Yeah, but you know what I was told is that there was a particular yacht that the Navy had called NNS Amaria. Look at that name they even gave it. NNS Amaria. And that particular yacht was seized from a former governor. And then the Nigerian Navy converted it for training purposes, you know, and also for ceremonial purposes. But that particular yacht was decommissioned in 2011. Now, what we do not know is whether or not the Nigerian government had ordered for another yacht. But, you know, in the thinking of the ordinary man, they would think that this should be a period for austerity on the part of our government officials. And, well, the only yacht that I have boarded is that of Femi Otedola, the billionaire. And, you know, it was luxury that I saw around, you know, for the few minutes that I was inside on board, you know. But the truth of the matter is that when Nigerians hear yacht, they think of luxury. So if there is any background information, because it's even possible that the yacht they are talking about has been ordered, and they say it's the Nigerian Navy that is going to use it.
Dr. Abati,
so they need to give us information.
But have you not seen the request of
5 billion?
It is there.
Yes,
in that,
for the yacht.
So if you are asking for 5 billion, it's not a yacht that has already been
they have a lot of explanations.
Okay, exactly. Because
and Nigerians are saying, we don't need a yacht.
Yes.
Can we cut our costs, downsize, and be sensitive to the people's feelings?
I'll take more reactions because there's a lot. This is from Brother Bath, who wrote, Tinubu's presidential yacht, luxury in penury. 133 million Nigerians live in multi-dimensional poverty. 20 million Nigerian children of school age are unable to attend school due to poverty, while 37% of Nigeria's children are malnourished, exposing them to retarded development. 2. Inflation in Nigeria is at all-time high of 26.72%. The country's total debt stands at 87 trillion naira, and its debt service to revenue ratio is a whopping 73.5%. Since removal of fuel subsidy and plummeting naira value, most Nigerians go to bed hungry. Businesses are closing down, while job loss is on the increase. 4. Amidst this harsh economy, pains and penury, Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to procure a presidential luxury yacht. 5. Can someone justify this for me again, please? A lot of questions. Then let me take Okweoluwa, who wrote, and this is something that I want to discuss. The USA used to have a presidential yacht called USS Sequoia. The Sequoia is a yacht that served 8 US presidents, the last being Herbert Hoover. Jimmy Carter became president when the USA economy had just exited a recession and was battling inflation and unemployment. Jimmy Carter, setting a cost-cutting example, ordered the presidential yacht sold in 1977. Till date, the USA, a $33 trillion economy, does not have a presidential yacht. Nigeria is in the same situation as USA in 1977. Rather than cut costs, our public office holders have gone on a spending spree with reckless abandon, as though it's out of fashion. You ask Nigerians to endure pain, but what pain are you enduring? Whether it will be funded or not, why is a presidential yacht in the supplementary budget? Why the rush? I'd like to come to you, Ayo, on this story, but I also want to say that, like I said earlier, this has always elicited public outcry. Yes. Back in 2016, former President Buhari had said he was going to sell 2 presidential jets out of 10. Yes. We don't know if that has happened. I mean, but this is the point that I want to make.
Okay, so I'm really glad that you read Okweoluwa's tweet, because that was where I was going to come from the US and the Sequoia. There are many countries that actually have a presidential yacht. And let me put it out there, because it's under the Navy does not mean it is meant for combat or meant for security. It is actually, in fact, in the US, it used to be called the floating White House, and was given to the president and high-ranking officials in government to get away from public life, you know, a little luxury, so that even though it comes under the Navy's purview. So let's not get deceived by, oh, it's under the Navy's budget. It is still what is supposed to be a yacht. It's not meant to go to battle. vessel. It's not a weapon or warfare. It is not going to be used by the Navy. It's going to be used by the president, just in the way that we have the presidential fleet. So let me just put that out there. There are other countries like Egypt, Finland, India, Italy, Philippines, Russia, and the likes that have a yacht, a presidential yacht, and it is for their presidents to enjoy. So there's nothing, so let's put that to rest. Going back to Warrior's tweet that, oh, it's for the Navy, etc. Let's not put propaganda on this one. Yes. It's under the Navy's purview, but it's going to be for the president's use and leisure. And then it goes back to comparisons. Yes. 5 billion naira. Oji, it sounds outrageous, especially under the current economic reality. And then in the same, at the same meeting, they put 5 billion naira for education. And this is the same president at the retreat yesterday who had talked about the importance of education, especially as a tool to tackling poverty. And he talked about the fact that this administration was going to pay very close attention to education. Of course, tertiary education or student loan is just a small fraction of the allocation to education, but it just smirks of it. It almost is ludicrous. What's the money going to go to to poverty alleviation? Yes, they've talked about 15 million households, 25,000 naira per month, and people are saying it's not enough. We have the presidential fleet. Why not sell off some of those flights? Don't forget that a few days ago, just on this show, we're talking about the president's son taking one of the presidential fleet, private jet, to for a private visit for a polo match in one of the northern countries. We have that on ground. Abuse of power, abuse of money, especially allocation, especially at this time when we are all told to tighten our belts. Here's what Nigerians would like to hear from this government: a demonstration of the fact that they feel the pulse of the people. And this is done by setting, even if it's a public show, to identify with the poorest of the poor in Nigeria. Cut all these extra expenses. Why are we buying new cars for the First Lady's office? Why? She had other cars. These people are not poor people. So in the interest of Nigerians, can they do something altruistic? Can they reject some of these things that even come with the paraphernalia of their office, just to show Nigerians that we are in this together? And so when you're talking, you're not just talking, but you're walking the talk as well. Very important. But wrong signals, I hope it is totally squashed, not just before it gets to the House, but even at the FEC, it ought to have been totally done away with. I think it's an insult for Nigerians to see this kind of thing.
I love your points, Ayo, and you just hit the nail on the head. 1.5 billion naira for the office of the First Lady. Cars for the office of the First Lady. People are also asking, are these new costs reflecting the new FX rate? I mean, the price could be higher, wouldn't it?
Of course. By the time you look at the price of a dollar now, definitely it will go up. But I was going to respond to what Ruben was saying, that the Senate or the National Assembly should reject it. Which National Assembly are we talking about? Please, let's get realistic about the state of this country. In a situation where the National Assembly itself is looking for how many billions to buy their own SUVs, which a member of the Senate is saying we need it because of the bad road, which we have superintended and failed to make sure that those roads, we carry out our constituency duties and oversight duties. They did not carry that out. They did not make sure that the roads are good. But instead of making sure that the roads are good, they are focused completely on, don't worry about the road, we will buy vehicles that can survive on those roads. It's completely unacceptable, and it runs from the top to the bottom of our leadership in this country, and that is what we've got to focus on. If the president is saying, oh, I'm going to have KPIs for you, I'm going to ask this fantastic woman Hadiza Bala Usman to monitor, who is monitoring the president? We are the citizens. We own this country. We have to ask the question, Mr. President, it's not acceptable. We're not saying your wife is not beautiful. She deserves to get a good vehicle, but you cannot spend that amount of money and spend it on vehicles for your wife, and then you buy a yacht for yourself, because if you say something is a presidential yacht, it is not for anybody else. The Navy cannot use the presidential yacht, just like the presidential aircraft cannot be used by the Air Force. It is meant for the president.
Well, we don't want them to buy a yacht. We don't want them to buy a yacht. But as for the Navy, if you have a ship, whether it's a yacht or whatever, it will be done under the Navy. That's why I refer to NNS Amaria. Yes. But we don't want a yacht.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear what Mr. Tinubu said in News Central. That man said it all in that very video. He exposed a lot of things regarding what Nigerians did not know regarding the office of the First Lady. He disgraced the wife of Tinubu because the wife of Tinubu had feel so big to the extent that she felt that she have an office in the Aso Rock, and that is why they allocated some money to the office of the First Lady. So that man said it all. He said in the 2023 election, in Nigerian elections, nobody is voting for the wife of the president and all of that. Nobody is voting for the First Lady. It's not in the ballot paper. The name of any First Lady is not in the ballot paper. So the office of the First Lady is not recognized according to the Constitution of Nigeria. A lot of people were laughing back then when Buhari said that his wife belongs to the kitchen and the other room. A lot of people think Buhari did not know what he was saying then. That shows that then the wife of Buhari was already agitating for the office of the First Lady, as Tinubu's wife just did. So that was why Buhari tried to restrict her back then. But a lot of people did not get to the understanding. So we're not saying that the government of Buhari is genuine. It's not a good government. So a lot of things went wrong. And the government of Tinubu is the continuity of the government of Buhari, according to what Tinubu himself said. So you can see what is going on now. A lot of people are dying of hunger in this country called Nigeria. Hunger will catch some people to the extent that a lot of them will go and steal, and at the end of the day, they will catch them and they will do jungle justice on them. And I saw the video of where they burnt 2 thieves in Onitsha yesterday. They went to steal some things and they caught them and they were burnt, 2 brothers and all of that, due to hunger and the hardship of the country. That is why a lot of people are going into stealing and all of that now. I'm not justifying the fact that stealing is very good when you do not have a choice. No, stealing is very bad and it's a very bad offense as far as even almost all the countries in the world is concerned. What we're agitating here is the fact that things have hiked up in the country. People are dying of hunger. People cannot afford 2 square meals again. A lot of students have been withdrawn from school due to the high school fees that Tinubu regime brought in, all of that. So a lot of institutions have lost a lot of students because they can't afford to pay the school fees that the federal institutions are bringing up at the moment. That is what is happening. So even with the hardship that is ongoing in the country, these people did not pity the people that they pretended to be serving. That is to tell you that these people are not there to serve you. They are there to serve their pockets, their family, and to live their luxurious life and all of that. Now tell me, what will yacht add to the economy of Nigeria? Now tell me, what will Tinubu wife use billions of naira cars to do? Tell me, what kind of convoy did she want to carry and all of that? And mind you, nobody voted for this First Lady or everything and all of that. People were protesting in different states in Nigeria now that a lot of things that they afford cheaply in the market, they can't even afford it again. But yet, these people are pretending to not see all these things. They turn a blind eyes on all this hardship and all the hungers that are catching people in different regions of the country, and yet they are spending billions of naira on what they know worth it. They are spending billions of naira on cars and all of that. Can you imagine politicians complaining of the roads in Nigeria, that the roads are not good? That is why they want to go and buy a confirmed SUV vehicles. Now tell me, whose responsibility is to fix the road in the country? Now all the senators in the House of Assembly and all of that, are they being that they take their constituents very well and all of that? They mean that they are serious with the work of their constituency and all of that. There will not be issue of bad road in Nigeria again, so there will not be need for all these expensive vehicles like SUV and all of that. But here we are, our politicians are even coming out boldly. These people are not even scared of Nigerians again. They are coming out boldly to tell the world that the roads of Nigeria are not good. Now tell me, is it my work to fix the road for Nigeria? Is it my pocket that Nigerian taxes are coming into and all of that? Now why is it that it is these people that are now coming out boldly without fear that Nigerian roads are not good? That's why they want to go and buy billions of naira cars and all of that. I think it is the right time for Nigerians to wake up, because a lot of sleep has spoiled a lot of things in this country. A lot of Nigerians are sleeping. So it is until we make action, it is until we take action on what these people are doing, that is when things can get better in this country. If not, a lot of things will be going wrong as usual. These people are so fucking funny to the extent that they said they want to distribute palliatives, the subsidy palliatives and all of that. They said they wanted to distribute it, and mind you, they gave the House of Assembly 70 billion naira to share among themselves as palliative for the subsidy removal and all of that. But mind you, they allocate food for different households in Nigeria as palliatives and all of that. But this is what these people are doing. They take half bag of rice and they want to share it among more than 200 people. Now tell me, is it one grain of rice that they will be allocating to everybody in Nigeria? These people are just taking Nigerians as joke. They are spending billions of naira, they sharing billions of naira among themselves in the House of Assembly, and they're spending a lot of money, of Nigerian money, your money and my money. They're spending it among themselves. But now they take us as a joke. They're giving us peanuts as palliatives and all of that, aiming and believing that Nigerians are low life, Nigerians are beggars and all of that. So that is what is going on. These people came into power and they said they don't need the money of Nigerians to do anything, that they are contented with the money that they have gotten as far as their life is concerned and all of that. But now tell me, whose money are they using to be buying car for the office of the first lady and all of that? Which money are they using to be renovating the office of the first lady to the taste of the wife of Tinubu's wife and all of that? These people are already misusing the power that is bestowed upon them already. You know, you should recall when they were doing Independence Day then, you know, when Tinubu came out to make a published speech as the president of Nigeria regarding the October 1st and all of that, the daughter of Tinubu self also came and she made her own press conference to all Nigerians. You can see how these people are misusing power. Where on earth is this happening? Now tell me, who is Tinubu's daughter addressing in Independence Day? She arranged a beautiful table in a beautiful office and she pulls the flags of Nigeria as if she's the president of Nigeria. You see how she addressed the press and all of that. Tinubu daughter addressing Nigerians after the father have addressed Nigeria and all of that. And you can also see the son of Tinubu carrying the presidential jet to a personal occasion for his own personal use. So these people are already misusing the power, and you can see Tinubu himself now taking care of his wife with Nigerian money and all of that. These things are already going on in this country. It is until Nigerians stand on their feet and they say enough is enough. That is when enough will be enough in this country. So that is what is happening at the moment. I'd like guys to drop your opinion regarding all these things that is happening in Nigeria. Feel free, drop your opinion in the comment section on this video. What do you guys think? A lot of talks have been out there in different media houses. A lot of people have been complaining regarding all this whole thing. People cannot live a normal life than living again. And this same person in power did not increase minimum wages from 33,000 to 100,000 that they said they should increase it to. And they can spend billions of naira on cars, on vehicles, and all of that. Drop your opinion in the comment section on this video as I'm going out there to get another thing for you. And sure follow me on all my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, why you with the for church? All as LAJUPOG.